Today's math strategy video is on telling and writing time. So today's goal is to be able to tell time to the minute. So what we're going to talk about is how we can use a number line as a strategy to help us do that. So we have two example clocks here. So we're going to look at this first one up here. And I see that I have my hour hand and my minute hand. Remember that the hour hand is shorter and our minute hand is longer. So my hour hand right here is pointing between 2 and 3. So when I think about that on a number line, so right here I have a number line starting at 2 and going on. So that means that this is between, it's like right in here. This hand is pointing between 2 and 3. And so when I think about that on a number line, that tells me that my hour must be 2 o'clock. It's got to be 2 something because it's in between 2 and 3. And on a number line, that would mean it's 2 something. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at my minute hand. Okay, now my minute hand, what I'm going to use in order to find out where it is, I'm going to think back to where this starts at 12 o'clock here. And each one of these sections, it represents 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to count by 5s until I get close to it. A friendly number, which will be right here at this 5. So this would be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and this would be 15, 20, 25. So I've got 25 minutes here. Now, this looks like it's about right here. So now I can count. I can't count by 5s anymore, but I'm going to count just by minutes. So that would be 26, 27, 28. So this would be 28 minutes past 2 o'clock. So that would be 2:28. So it's almost right here, close to 2:30. So just remember this minute hand, it measures these minutes around here. And then my hour hand, and remember there's 60 minutes in an hour. And my hour hand is going to measure the hours. And so that hour hand is actually going to make 2 revolutions around a clock because there are 24 hours in a day. So let's look at our next clock down here because this one can be kind of tricky. So this one looks like if I looked here at 12, it's not this line. It's probably like right in here. So probably like right about right there. So when it's close to 1, but it's not quite there yet. So that still means that I'm at 12 something. I'm at 12 o'clock with some minutes past. So when I'm going to go, you can do this 2 different ways, but probably an easier way is to count back from 12 because since it's so close, I could go around and I could count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then count the minutes, but I could also just count back. So this looks like it's right here. So 1 minute, so if I have 60 minutes in an hour, and it's 1 minute back, that would be at 59 minutes. So this would actually be 12:59. So that's what that clock is showing right there, 12:59. So I also sometimes get, okay, well, that's really confusing. Like, why is this not 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock? Or why is it not one of these other numbers? So let's talk about what that would look like. If this was actually, let's say 1:59. Okay, so I would have my minute hand at the same place. But if it was 1:59, that means that it would be here. It would be almost 2 o'clock. So that means that my hour hand would actually be pointing this way because it would be closer to 2. Same thing if it was 12. It would be, I would still have a minute hand that would be there, but it would be, if it was about to be 12 o'clock, the hand would actually be kind of right on top of it because it would be in between 11 and 12 going on to 12 o'clock. So those are some of the things that some students get kind of tripped up on when they're looking at time, is getting some of these confused when the hands are pretty close together. Let's look at another example problem. Okay, so this one says, this one gives us actually a digital clock. So it says noon is 12 p.m. Sarah sat down at 43 minutes past noon. So 43 minutes past noon, we've got 12:43. So past noon would be, it's gone past the 12 o'clock mark. So it's closer now to 1 o'clock. So the clock shows PM because the time is between noon and midnight. So it's afternoon time. You can also, the PM and AM have to do with the revolution of that clock. So when that clock, starts at midnight and we have AM time and then it hits that 12 again, we start PM. So the clock shows PM, it's noon. Sarah sat down to eat between 12 and 1. So you can tell the time by saying how many minutes after 12, and you can also say how many minutes before 1. So if we were going to draw this, if we wanted to represent 12:43 or 43 minutes past noon, I always work with my minute hand first because I think that's the very best strategy. So remember that if I start here at 12 and I can count, 5-minute sections, or I can count back. Sometimes it might just be easier to count forward by 5. So this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so this would be 40, but I'm at 43, so that would be 41, 42, 43. So my minute hand's a little wobbly, but you can see, here we go. It's going to point right there to 43. That would be the 43 minutes. So if it's 12:43, and I already found the minute, so this would be the 30-minute mark. And so this would be 35, 40, 40. So it's in here. This is where it would be I would hit my number line. Well, this is between 12 and 1. And it looks like it would be, this is where your hour hand would also go. It would need to be somewhere that's kind of close to 1, but not quite. So if I did that, this would represent 12:43 on the clock. So I can also, 43 minutes. Past noon, I could also say that it is 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. It is 17 minutes until 1 p.m. So you can write that 2 different ways, either, going towards the new hour or talking about how many minutes past whatever hour it is that you're working with. And then this is what it would look like on that number line. So that is the end of today's math strategy video.